I'm now going to ask Tshamano Makhadi, who is a lecturer at TUT, but is also a SANEF council member and a SANEF chairperson of the Education and Training Committee. So whenever you see these trainings like this, as we are doing now, this man must have approved. He's the guy who would have assessed and shared that this indeed is the information that journalists need. Tshamano, it's your platform. I'm gonna close. If you wanna share the slides, let me see. Do you wanna share the slides or should I?
Yes, I think I'll be able to share from this side. Let's see if I can.
Let's see.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Okay. Good morning, colleagues, and we really appreciate your time. Thank you so much to both the previous speakers, Jovial, as well as Monica. We appreciate your time, and thank you so much as well, Hopewell, for sharing. Now, mine is focusing on the assistance and the resources that are available for journalists, especially during this time of elections. The big question that you might be asking yourself is, who can I approach for help? Now, we have been working with a number of organizations, as you would also see from my slide already. The South African National Editors Forum has been working with Media Monitoring Africa to develop an online portal. This is mainly meant to track and record attacks against journalists during the election period. Now, maybe just to basically give a brief background, most of the people that are here, obviously they know MMA, but maybe just to say MMA, it has been established in 1993, and since then they have been involved from a pure monitoring-based project to an rather innovative organization which implements successful media strategies. But in the days of misinformation and disinformation, we've also seen them doing quite a lot of work. So with specific reference to the help that you can get, our portal, which can be found on the SANEF website, I'm happy to say all of those details are there, and you can always go through that and find more details. We also have the Committee for the Protection of Journalists, which can also assist in the case of anything that you might find to be problematic. CPJ, they are also available to assist, and these are also some of the partnerships that we have as SANEF. The IEC may also be approached directly with a matter that falls within their jurisdiction as a contravention of the electoral law framework. We know of many problems that do emerge, especially around the time of the elections, and the IEC have always been there to assist. But as I do say, it must be with the issues that falls within their their jurisdiction. You will also see from the slide that we talk about the South African Human Rights Commission, who are also available to investigate any alleged violence of human rights. So if at all there are issues that have to do with human rights and you feel the need to report such, so the Human Rights Commission is also available. There might also be issues that are of civil nature, perhaps maybe a civil claim where you may want to report it either to SAPS. All of those can also be addressed or directed straight to SAPS. It might also be issues of crime. So we have also been working with the South African Police Service. So we are saying all of that which might be of concern to you can also be addressed directly to SAPS. Now, maybe just to move to the next point, but perhaps maybe before I move, one of the things that we have done successfully, especially with the protection of journalists, and I'm sure we can all agree that this has been a matter of great concern to all of us as industry and obviously as a nation. Over the last 2 months, we've seen a lot of things happening, violence in Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal. So as SANEF, part of what we have done was to also speak to other organizations, in this case, WANIFRA, who also came on board to try and assist with the training of journalists in South Africa. I'm happy to say about 20 journalists were trained in the last month on a number of issues. I mean, that number included, amongst others, I would say, freelancers and also community media. What is it that we were looking at? We looked at the planning and the preparation whenever journalists are going out on stories, situational awareness, identifying risk and hazards, and also risk assessment. It was also important that we also had to look at the COVID situation. In that case, when journalists are going out, they also have to make well-calculated moves. The other subject, which was quite a big topic, it was around mental health, which is, of course, a big issue and something that we are still trying to address. I'm not going to go into more details of what has been done, but I'm sure you would also know that we have, in the last 3 months, or should I say 2 months, we got into a partnership with SADC. So all of these resources are available for our journalists, and if you go into our website, you should be able to find all of these details. Right, let me move to the next slide. Okay, I'm going to just talk very briefly, but I want a situation where we sort of have a discussion, go into conversation, whether you have questions that you want to already share with us on the chat box, please do feel free to do so in the meantime, but we'll also be happy to take direct questions. Now, COVID obviously has been a big issue for the industry and everyone else in the world, but within the context of South Africa, working with a few partners, as you would all see on that slide, I do make mention of the working and protecting guidelines for journalists during the pandemic. Now, what we have done here, we've partnered with Frey College, who were of great assistance to us in putting together that document with resources coming from Internews. Now, the guide on reporting in a pandemic was developed, as I said, by SANEF and its partners to assist South African journalists and media practitioners to basically navigate the novel experience of working during a global pandemic. So the resources provided are grounded on the principles of health and science to maximize accurate and ethical coverage in real world impact, whilst trying to basically mitigate the physical and emotional harm. So this resource is also available as well on our website, and I'm sure many of you who are here, some of you, you've gone through that document since we launched it in July. But I'm also happy just to say, not only does it speak to COVID-related matters, but of course there are ethical issues that have also been of a great concern. So please, if you have not read the document, I would really encourage everyone to go through all of that. So perhaps maybe without going through all of this, but also the other document which is of great importance, it is the Guide to Gender-Aware Reporting on COVID-19. Monica was here a bit earlier. She spoke about quite a number of other issues that are gender related, but will also encourage colleagues as well to go through that document. The other guide, obviously, it is on how to report on police brutality. We live in a country where there are many challenges, and from our side as SANEF, there have been many engagements with SAPS, and we're hoping that going towards the elections and during the elections, we will be able to find one another, but also just to try and assist colleagues to prepare themselves. Do read on some of the rules, as you would see also on that quote. A media representative may not be prohibited, rather be prohibited from from taking photographs or making visual recordings. It's quite important that we have that kind of working relationship, but also with police themselves, understanding the work of journalists, which is quite important, especially within the context of elections. We understand that at times things do get out of hand, but we want to work together because in the end, it is about South Africa. So, Hopewell, I think I'm not going to drag it further, but it would be good if we can get into a discussion. Like I said, if there are questions, let's get to those questions, and we'll be happy to answer some of the questions rather the questions that are there already. I can't see anything on the chat box, but I'm happy to hand back to you, and we can continue from there. Thank you so much.